Hello, my name is Lily and I work at the support team here at My Practice Cloud, and today we're going to walk through the MPC Practice Management Dashboard. This dashboard gives us a high-level snapshot of how a practice is performing using data pulled directly from a patient management software. By the end of this session, you should understand what each section is telling you, why it matters, and where to click if you need further detail. This dashboard helps us spot trends, risks, and opportunities quickly. Let's start at the top with practice selection. If a user has access to more than one practice, they'll see a checkbox that says Show Data for All Practices. It's checked by default, meaning you're looking at combined data. If you uncheck it, you can select individual practices, click Refresh, and the dashboard updates accordingly. You'll also notice a last update here. This is very important. MPC updates overnight, pulling data from the practice management software, and the date is color-coded. Green means everything updated successfully last night. Amber means data is still being transferred. Just keep an eye on it as it usually completes processing by around 7 AM. And red means no data was received and troubleshooting is needed. If you ever see red, that's a flag to act, not ignore. To log this, you would click on the question mark at the bottom right here, scroll down and create a data processing issue. That will then log with our team that will then look into that for you option. The next section is income, which is one of the most frequently used sections. This shows income generated by invoices from yesterday and the last 30 days. It includes all raised invoices, any adjustments, and product sales which are counted as private income. If NHS practices are selected, income is split between NHS and private. You will see the total income, income per hour available, and for practices that have both NHS and private patients, a colour bar showing the NHS versus private split. Income per hour is especially useful. It tells us how efficiently booked time is being used. A low hourly rate often doesn't mean low demand. It usually means too much unbooked time or white space in the diary. The next section is income forecast. This estimates income for today, tomorrow, and the next 30 days. It's based on the estimated cost of appointments already booked in the diary according to the treatment codes that have been charted for that patient's appointment in the diary for that period of time. You'll also see remaining income for the rest of the month and forecast income for the next calendar month. This helps practices understand whether they're on track to hit revenue targets before it is too late to act. The next section is workflow compliance failures. This section is only applicable to exact sites and is all about what happens at reception. It tracks how consistently key tasks are being completed when a patient leaves the practice. Things like taking payments, booking future appointments, and capturing contact details. You will see compliance percentages for yesterday and for the last 30 days. Green means above 80% and red means below. If you click this section, you get a pop-up showing up to 5 practices ordered by the lowest compliance first. You'll see success rates for individual items like processed payments, future treatment bookings, recall bookings, email and mobile capture, and marketing consent if supported by the practice management software. It's possible for most items to be green, but the overall score is still to be red. That usually means that tasks are being done sometimes, but not consistently on every departure. Clicking on the option to view the report for yesterday or for the last 30 days then opens the workflow compliance period report that will then show each practice scores in more detail with a bar graph view. The next 2 sections are patients seen and new patients. These 2 sections answer a simple question. How many patients are we seeing and how many are new? Patients seen counts completed appointments only, no cancellations or FTAs for yesterday and for the last 30 days. New patients focuses on appointments marked as new and broken down for yesterday and for the last 30 days, and also broken down per provider. Clicking on each of these sections will open the appointment analysis report for the periods of time shown on the dashboard and will pre-populate the analysis items to either patient seen or new patients, depending on which of the titles is selected. The next section is reception workflow capture summary. This shows the number of patients that you've seen in practice over the last 2 years and the percentage of those patients that have a mobile on file, an email on file, and if applicable, according to your practice management software, the percentage of those patients who have consented to marketing on the system. Clicking on this section will bring up a bar graph, and if you're viewing the practice management dashboard for more than one practice, this will then show you broken down per practice. The next section is the whitespace forward cover. So whitespace refers to unbooked appointment time. This section looks ahead for the next 7 days, showing how much time is booked versus unbooked. which providers have the most white space, and color code indicators for today, tomorrow, and the weekly average. So as you can see here, we have the percentage here, we have the bar graph, and then we have the provider on the right-hand side there. So why it matters: high white space often leads to lower income per hour, missed revenue opportunities. Why that matters: high white space often leads to lower income per hour and missed revenue opportunities. This is one of the most actionable sections on the dashboard. Clicking on this section will open the appointment diary report that then gives you the ability to click further into practices to see exactly where the white space is within the diary and what needs to be filled. The next section that we have here are UDAs. This next section is only applicable for sites in England and Wales with UDA-based contracts. It shows UDAs claimed yesterday and over the last 30 days, along with their monetary value. This helps practices track whether they're generating UDAs at the right pace across the contract year. Clicking on this section will open the NHS UDAs by period report, which will grant you a more detailed look into these claims. The next section we have here are the courses of treatment at risk. It shows completed NHS courses of treatment that are close to the submission deadline. They are grouped into 7 days left, which is the highest risk, 8 to 49 days, and 50 plus days. If courses of treatment are not submitted in time, then the NHS may not pay, which means lost income for work already completed. Clicking this section opens a detailed report so action can be taken quickly. Open courses of treatment with or without an appointment. This shows the open courses of treatment that have been created within the last 12 months and is broken down into the following categories: NHS and private, and the number of these courses of treatment that have an appointment and the number that don't have an appointment booked in. So you can see here the NHS with an appointment, without an appointment, and private with an appointment and without. For sites in England and Wales, the NHS side also shows the UDA figure for these courses of treatment. To open a more detailed report on each of these figures, you would simply click on one of these numbers here. That would open either the NHS treatment plans by period report or the treatment plans by period report. The next section here is DAF quality indicators. This section shows you how many UDAs claimed within the last 3 months are outside range and within range. This aids in making sure that the clinicians are claiming UDAs in an appropriate manner and shows if there are any unusual claiming patterns at a glance. Clicking on the title of this section brings you to the Dental Assurance Framework report that will give you further detail on what makes up these figures. The next section here is the recall effectiveness. Recall effectiveness looks at how well recall appointments are being handled over 7 months. The past 3 months on the left, this month, and then the next 3 months on the right. It shows you whether recalls are completed, booked, or failing. Strong recall performance keeps diaries full and supports long-term patient retention. Clicking on the title of this section will open the recall effectiveness report for the 7 months that are shown in this section. The next 2 sections are FTA and cancellations. FTA, or fail to attend, shows hours lost because patients didn't attend appointments. Cancellations shows hours lost where appointments weren't rebooked. Both are shown as a percentage of available hours and total hours lost. High rates here means lost revenue and often points to booking issues, reminder issues, or provider-specific problems. By clicking each of these titles, it will open the appointment analysis by period report showing how this is broken down weekly, and you're able to then review this in more detail to show you the reasons why patients have potentially cancelled and give you a list of the patients to then contact to get rebooked. The next section here are the demographics, so registered patients demographics. Demographics give us a snapshot of the patient base by age and gender. This helps practices understand whether they're attracting the right mix of patients for long-term growth and gives you an understanding of what your patient base is made up of. When you click on the title of this report, it will open the patient demographics by payer type report to give you more detail. To conclude, the practice management dashboard is about spotting risks early, understanding the performance of the practice or practices quickly, and knowing where to drill down when something looks off to then be rectified. Your goal is to become comfortable navigating this dashboard and understand what questions it helps answer. Over time, you'll start to recognize patterns, and that's where the real value comes in. Thank you for your time, and remember, if you would like any further training or support, please email us on support@mypracticecloud.com.